Good morning, my neighbors. Welcome to another episode of EYTTT. Before you take the trade, this is the trading floor edition. I want to say thank you for chiming in. I mean, I'm a little bit earlier than I normally am, but I had to point out some things, and there's so much stuff that I got to cover. So let's go ahead and get right to it. So, first thing I wanted to recap is everything that I talked about yesterday about NQ. I really thought we had this nice vertical that there was just going to be a little bit of a retracement, maybe down to about this level and then a bounce. But you could kind of see it is trying to make a beeline right back, and it might go right through the order block and see where the level of support is. Could it be inside of the golden zone here? Maybe, but either way. So I got a nice little fib that was from our low right here all the way into this upper register around last night, somewhere around 11 o'clock or so. So I want to see what they do with this. Now, the funny thing about it, remember how I did this? This was an order block, right? It was a daily order block that was built off of here. That goes back to, whoa, wait a minute. Goes back to where? Wait a minute. Yes, exactly. It's retested a very recent order block. That's what I really want to point it out. So now, it did make a deeper retracement into the order block than I thought they would let before they actually try to reverse it back down. So I thought they would reverse it like maybe 50% of it or maybe 25% of it. But they really made sure that they got to the edge of here. Made everybody think it was going to be bullish a little bit. But I did buy some time on some of my bullish moves. And the shorter terms, I had a feeling that they would retest some levels. It's a little bit deeper than I expected, but we'll see what happens throughout the day. So I think this is going to be a very critical point. Somewhere around this level, you could go ahead and mark it off of your chart. Somewhere around the 20, let's just call it 2600. That'll be a tough area for them to just get completely bearish in, and then probably 25.75.50, somewhere around there. All right. So I know there's a lot that happened with this market, and I had some conversations with some folks. So let me start with AMAT, right? So AMAT was something that was on my red list, and I was very curious if they can actually put in an extra day here. So hold on, let me go ahead and clear this completely out. Right, that was an old thesis. I was looking for it to break down, but they didn't really break it down all the way. But look at what the price action did yesterday. They did one more stab here. We're in that almost like that register where we could really flip this MACD and continue to that upside. And right now, AMAT looks like it might retest this area, and they're probably doing a retest down to, come on, get here, down to this level. Now, I do have a couple of levels that I'm curious about. Anything below 81 bucks, I'll probably be like, this is just a little bit too egregious and get rid of some of my positions. But generally speaking, this does look like it's starting to build what could be a micro trend. Remember, before there's a higher low, there has to be a higher high. Sorry, before there's a higher high, there has to be a higher low. So this could be the pivot that created that high, and they're coming back really strong to retest this area. If this stochastic can pick up, you could get a weekly that starts to put some pressure, and you could get a monthly that looks like this bend might be just a little bit of a retracement for them to attack and make some more new highs. So we'll see how that goes. Another one is AMD. AMD had earnings yesterday. AMD had earnings. Let me get rid of these drawings. And you can kind of see it just slow move, slow move, slow move. It looked like it was going to continue, and then they just wiped almost this whole entire month of increase. So look at this. This is your pre-market. They missed it by 0.03 cent. Barely missed it. So this could be a knee-jerk reaction to the market, so that way they could go ahead and get some people to get really panicky. Add some more sell side liquidity for the most part as they start to try to really push this thing down. I would say if it doesn't break the 200 EMA, this thing can bounce. If it gets anywhere around this 150 to 145 level, somewhere around this zone, I think that's going to be a deep buy action somewhere probably around these areas here. Let me go ahead and turn this into an order block. Let's call it 143, 140, somewhere around here. 145 maybe, but let's just call it 143 to maybe 140, maybe a little deeper, maybe like a little bit of manipulation. But If this daily holds the way it is, and all this is just retracement, and they recapture all of that gap, this should be a very, very fun rise to that upside. But then, listen, do not race it to AMD. Let's go look at the Qs real quick. Here's Qs. Qs got to 500 yesterday. Remember the level that I talked about yesterday? I said there's a strong possibility if we hold our bearish side was around the 491 to 489. I think that was the level I kind of said for us to go 500. Now, it was a very, very choppy 500, and it was very uncomfortable. I took small percentages here and there. If you did get to hold your position and you was able to swing it all the way to that top, you should have been sitting very, very pretty off of that call out. So going back to this chart, it still looks strong for the most part. AMD is inside, sorry, QQQs does have AMD in it, but for the most part, it's really an NVIDIA type of play. So let's go look at NVIDIA, since earnings for AMD will affect the whole entire semiconductor space. And you can see NVIDIA is just consolidating. Could they be taking the profits that they got from AMD and pouring it right back into NVIDIA at the level around 137 to 139? Maybe. All right. Another one I want to go ahead and look at is Tesla. Tesla was on a tear after they launched their earnings, right? Missed on revenues, but the EPS is up 20%. That's a good sign. They're making more with less. That's how I look at it. And you can kind of see this got to about almost 275. I thought we was going to tap it, but we already started pulling back. I'm looking for them to hold this trend line roughly right here, which is the original trend here, and see if they can continue there. Now, this trend line right here, which is what created that whole entire pop-up from the earnings. Again, there's no such thing as a higher high unless there's a higher low. So this could be our higher low roughly around here. Actually, let me get rid of my indicator so you can kind of see that a little bit better. Boom, 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 and boom. Right? Could be this. Maybe they retest all the way to here. We are in that upper register on the stochastic here, so it can be very tricky. Let's come over to the weekly. Oh, still in a bullish state. Still looking like we could continue to this upside. Could this continue up? Very, very possible. Let's see how this week ends. If they erase all this gains by the time Friday comes, maybe I'll be a little hesitant. But if not, we'll probably put in our first stage of a fair value gap and probably hold any level above that 250 level. That's going to be fun. All right, now it's 9:15, so let's go ahead and get back to our regularly scheduled program. Hold on, let me go check some stuff over here. No, so funny how much spammy stuff I get here. So annoying now, so annoying. All right, let me just open my chats over there. All right, cool, and I am ready. All right, so let's go ahead and get right back to it. So let's look back at NQ. Let's look at it on larger state. Generally speaking, hide my drawings for a second. Looks like they're going for it. Going for that 2100-ish. Let's see what that high was. High was 2983.75. Maybe we get to that 21,000. That's a possibility as we continue to kind of like slow play and get to that level. If we do, we'll be very careful. We may be putting in a weekly bearish divergence, which is going to make things very interesting. And it's funny that this is starting to happen as we get closer to the election cycle, and we're going to have it in the middle of November. Everybody should be ready to vote, right? So this could be that last dwarf star movement creates that bearish divergence by making that spike to that upper register, and then we just drop all the way through as investors start to pull their money. So this is going to be very interesting as we get towards election. Keep that in mind. All right, let's go over to our regular things. Let's go to oil. This is oil right now. Let me go bring my drawings. So you can kind of see long-term consolidation. Been saying it for a while. We are not breaking this 6706 level, and we bounced off of it this week. I want to see what happens. Does this actually get into this order block, right? This is what I'm thinking is an order block, a very long-term order block that we just can't get past, so that way we can go ahead and make new highs on oil. Listen, I'm with you. I'm not trying to promote saying that oil is going to go back to $138 a barrel. Not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that this order block keeps on getting tested, and if you keep testing this order block over and over, eventually something's got to give. Either people stop trying to test the order block, or B, people that are rejecting at the order block kind of give up because they notice that they can't get rid of the buyers, and then out of nowhere it just rockets on up. So just keep that in mind as we look at this 67 level. If we break this 67 level, I do think somewhere around this area here is where they really want to go, which is around that 62, 63, and that's going to start giving us a catalyst. Are they going to test some of these weekly fair value gaps after the pandemic? Right, we did the massive move after the pandemic, and we just consolidated this whole entire time. So I'm very curious on how that works. So we'll see what happens there. Gold, this is gold. This thing can't stop putting on weekly green candles. Had this one little reprieve somewhere in the middle of September. We thought that was the reversal. If you drew a trend line right here, this will let you know, hey, liquidation, retest, take off. And that's roughly around that 267 price. That's what I was kind of saying, that we're going to test that 2700, and then we could go over to silver, and you'll see exactly almost the same thing. You had that register where we kind of pulled back again. This was September 30th when we really started pulling back. But again, as soon as they retested this area in silver, they went back into all metals. And which one's more popular? Gold. And that's why that one is having much more of a movement versus silver. But investors invest at opportunities. All right, and then here's the British pound. British pound is putting in this nice little doji on the week. Let's see how that ends towards the end of Friday. If this actually holds the way I think it does, this could be a signal of reversal, start to push the market back up, and then the dollar starts to drop. I'm gonna explain that a little bit later. And then here's ES. ES is starting to give us that topping pattern. This is probably why you got NQ kind of like relax a little bit. But if this starts to get to that 6,000, oh yeah, they're gonna drag NQ right into that 21,000. Here is your Russell. Russell is still looking like they're pulling money out of it. Let me come back to the daily. So I kind of drew this lines a little bit, right? I wanted them to retest this area. Really, I wanted them to retest this area and then take off. But it looks like we're retesting this area over and over and over again. And this goes back to our conversation. Who's going to give? Is it going to be the sellers or the buyers? If this thing can hold and continue to take out this fair value gap, I think that's when we're going to start to fall. But again, if we're going to go to that 6,000 on ES or 21,000 on NQ, that means this might have to come down a little bit lower. Maybe the retest of here, that's when that's going to actually happen. And then the final one, the infamous, the dollar, right? Looking at it from a weekly standpoint, you can kind of see it is getting tired. Nice, massive move. Continuation, recontinuation, testing order blocks. And then here, this could be where it loses steam. I would say a nice little retracement back into the 50% red. Actually, hold on, am I doing that right? Actually, no, we're gonna go a little bit higher. Boom, somewhere around here, because we still continue this trend. All this now, where does it bring it? It brings it into that order block. Remember when I kind of did the drawing, I was looking for something kind of like this, then that, and that didn't really work out because they just continued to drift this thing up. So this could be where we finally get the retest to here and get a nice solid bounce here on the dollar. So if we took a shot at anticipating what that can look like, again, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a fiduciary, I'm just letting you know what it looks like to me. All right, boom. And if I get this thing to extend a little bit further, it takes us to the election cycle before we bounce the dollar. That's all. Look, it's not a magic trick. It's nothing. I'm just giving you an idea of what I think can happen, and it's a speculation. I am a speculator. I am looking for opportunities that present themselves. I'm just going to draw it in the chart, and that's what it looks like. So I'm saying election cycle. Actually, let me do a nice little vertical line. Let's do this. And call this maybe. And let's see how that ages over time. All right. So let me go ahead and erase this, get rid of that bad boy, and we're going to go ahead and get ourselves ready for, actually, let me just go change my chart because I already have NQ over here. Ready for the market. Let's see what they did while we did all this talking. Yep, they're still trying to get out of the block. Got a nice little M pattern that happened, right? Bang, 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 and then bang, right? Nice little M pattern. What do we do with M patterns? We take the short side. This was our short side of that M. That's our neckline. Our extension brings us to this level, and we already did 100% of the move. 50% of the move would have been Bang and bang. And then we can kind of see what price action did over there. All right. Yeah, it looks like a nice little drop that came through here. And as they dropped it, there was our little bit of a bounce here. But look at that 50% of the move. Right before we got to the 50% of the move was roughly around that close at 9 o'clock. Bounced it, and then they took out all of that wick, of all that buy side liquidity got chewed up right there. Yummy, yummy, yummy. All right, so I'm gonna leave. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna leave this line in here just to see how the market reacts over time in itself. Let's go over to CL. Nice little cross here. Probably gonna give us a little bit of resistance at 68. But this thing looks like it wants to be bullish. Let's check out the news. I think there is some news on this. Let's see my FX. All right, so we have our sales. Whenever this thing gets to it. All right, so Europe had some inflation data and everything, and it looks like pending home sales is coming into play. And then we got oil inventories is coming in. So we got oil inventory, pending home sales, and pending home sales at 10 o'clock, oil inventory at 10:30. So those are the two things that I would say keep an eye on. And that probably will play a little bit of a factor into the market. And since that's oil inventory, this thing is curling up. Let's see. Last week, oil inventory made this thing. Where are you? No, where are you? Where are you? This is Monday. Oh, that's why. All right, Friday. They had a nice little spike up, but then we still dropped out of the order block. So can we get another spike up? Maybe this is our drift up, and then now we're going to go ahead and probably get out of this golden cross that's about to happen here. But it looks like this support is holding. I am very, very curious about this 6706 level. We're probably going to get a nice little dump there. So we'll see what happens there. Gold on the 15-minute. That is not what I was trying to do. Looks like that 2800 is a tough level. Should be. Maybe come back to 2788 before they try to go back to that 2800. So be patient, folks. Don't chase the cat. The cat will claw back. All right, silver looks okay. British pound building that level. ES looks like this. M pattern as well, just like everything else. Oh, I'd like to go over to natural gas real quick. Could they fill this gap and then take back off? This thing has taken off ever since here. Should never removed it off the chart. But anyways, I think ES is much more of an illustration of the market in itself. Natural gas is just something fun to play with. I'll probably put it in a different chart. Yep, the Russell's still coming down. And then, oh, that should make things interesting. Dollar's gaining strength. Gaining strength. All right. 5 minutes until the market opens. Get myself set up a little bit. Gonna leave that level. I'm gonna get rid of this fib. And what we are going to do is get ourselves prepared. Let me get rid of this here, get this. If you have not been on my channel before, by all means, that's totally understandable. How I do things, oh, I just clicked the wrong button. I thought I had it off. How I do things is very simple. I like to do the opening range breakout, which is basically the first 15 minutes of the market. And when it opens up, we kind of box out that first 15 minutes. That's it. After it's all said and done, we take the first 5 minutes after the establishment of our first 15 minutes, and whichever 5-minute candle closes above, like hopefully with some strength, that's the direction we're going to go with. And if it reverses, we get ourselves out. And if it breaks out at the bottom in retrospective or the opposite, then yes, we're probably going to play it to that downside as well. So technically, you're probably going to do 1 to 2 trades, 2 to 4 trades max, all right? Because if the first one fails, we might give it a second shot, but after that, it could be very choppy, and I don't want y'all to lose any money. Other than that, I also have my key indicator, which I got to put my indicators back. Let's go ahead and put my bing, 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 and bing. All right, so I do have my indicator, which is basically market dominance. And what I'm looking for is for me to be able to take whatever the first 45 minutes that actually explodes to that upside and starts to take off in that direction. I'm looking for potential reversals. So that said, I'm looking for those two different situations. If it presents itself, then I will do so. Give me a few seconds and I will come right back. All right, take care of some household maintenance. All right, we got ourselves less than 2 minutes, actually a little over 2 minutes into the market opens. Let's go ahead and check out some of my other lists that I have. I have my red list and the green. Why it seems like my lighting is much brighter. Oh, you know what? I think I know why. It might be you. There we go. That's a little better. Let's go ahead and look at some of my lists. Oh, actually, let me look at yesterday's screener because I did kind of say a couple things was happening. There was AMAT. It gained $2 yesterday, but now it's pulling back. Verizon. Which one did I go with? I think I did CSX, Coinbase. Oh, I remember now. It was Keurig, Dr. Pepper, and Coinbase. That was the two that I was kind of looking at. So let's go with Keurig, Dr. Pepper. Go with that one first. All right, let's look at how this chart aged over that. Yeah, I think I was looking for something along. I'll go find in the video just to make sure what it was. I think I was looking for something like this to kind of happen like that, but then we gapped down that day. Actually, no. Yeah, we gapped through. Okay, now I see. I boxed out this area as an order block, and you could kind of see we're starting to like really hold, and you see pre-market we're up again. So this is going to be a tough area for them to try to really get through. We're still bearish, so this thing can reverse at any time. So do not just go ahead and try to take this now, because it did break out of a bump and run type of action, and they could really come back to this lower register here at about $30. So I don't think it's ready yet for anything to the upside. But if it does catch support somewhere around here and uses this order block as an area of interest, there's a strong possibility Keurig could go ahead and start bouncing, fill this gap, and start to give you a little bit of cushion to reattempt to get to $36. Other than that, we'll see what happens there. And then the other one was Coinbase. Coin. All right. So we still kind of making that ride. Still doesn't look. Ooh. Look at that nice little pre-market. There we go. We're in. So it kind of came back, and it looked like it was trying to get back into this trend itself. So it didn't get there, and their earnings is tonight. So yeah, I'm gonna wait for the earnings. If the earnings does something nice, probably get ourselves a position on tomorrow. Will probably be great for Coinbase. Which is Coinbase moving to the upside will be good for the market, especially QQQ. So we'll see how that ages over time. All right, let's see. That's interesting. Why is my AMAT? Oh, okay, there we go. Now it's back to normal. My AMAT was showing me that I was like super positive. I'm like, wait a minute, I did not do anything. That thing is actually down right now. Let me go ahead and get myself logged into my other accounts while we do that. And I'm gonna close off the screener. Yeah, it's like my screen here is so bright that it's changing up my lighting as if I should turn off this lighting. But we'll leave it as is. All right, got myself logged in. What sucks is I really thought we was gonna go ahead and kind of hold on to that level, but you win some, you lose some. Yeah, took a couple of positions earlier this morning. That's that. Okay. So let's get over to NQ. So, like I said, the first 15 minutes is most critical to us, and that's all we care about. So let's go ahead and look at the first couple minutes of it. All right, so that is what it looks like right now. Let me grab my bullish and bearish lines and bring it closer to price action so I can zoom that in a little bit. All right, so far we got ourselves bullish above this line as they started to establish themselves, and bearish below this line. Now, they could be just coming to the bottom or the center point ish of this order block and then retool themselves and start to take off this top. That could be a very, very, very strong bull case when it's all said and done, but we'll see what happens there because we only take what the market gives us. That's all. That is all. Yeah, AMD got its butt whipped. It did get its whipped. Let me go show y'all this. I'm looking at this other chart real quick. Got his butt whipped on this drop, which is, like I said, a complete overreaction. They found you an extra $100 million, a tenth of a billion, and you're telling me that you're gonna drop this hard? It's just all that speculators just probably cashing in their profits there. Where would AMD go before it actually bounces? I think psychological 150. That's probably the play. If not, they're probably gonna go all the way down to this level here at 141. If we come over here, here's your pre-market. And you got yourself a little bit of a breakdown right now. This thing could probably continue all the way down to that lower level. Let's see. We will see. All right, back to NQ. NQ looks like this on the 15-minute. Still kind of wading in the water a bit. Let's see what NVIDIA is doing. Nope, that is not NVIDIA. That is NVIDIA. All right, NVIDIA kind of following suit with what's going on with AMD. Here's our 200 EMA on the 1 hour. Close to our 50 EMA on the 4 hour. Nice gap down right here. So if anything between here and the 200 on the 4 hour, 137 to maybe 138-ish. Make sure that was around that level for the 4 hour. Yeah, somewhere around here is probably where they're aiming for. We'll see. We'll see. We do not force anything in the market, like I said. All right, that means NQ probably gave me some lows. No, still waiting in the water. What you gonna do, NQ? Kind of came back into that 100% mark of that M pattern that we broke down. Pin the 15-minute way down here. Let's see. What else is? The 1 hour is kind of pinned as well. The 2 hour looks like it's starting to open up to probably play down to that downside. I got a 2 hour fair value gap here. Let me go ahead and mark this out. Did all these buyers disappear? Point of interest, it's probably going to be right here. I'm going to use one of my gap lines. Let's call it this. Out of curiosity, see what happens there. All right, if it ever gets there. All right, back to the 15-minute. Our new low, it looks like it is 20614.5. There we go. All right, if you're a seasoned trader and you are looking for a prop firm and you want to go ahead and get yourself an account, that's 85% off down in the link below for Elite Funded Trader. You can go ahead and get yourself an account as low as 20 bucks. All right, enough plugs. That's as far as I go. I don't like to sound like some type of commentator and news broadcaster or anything like that. All right, so yeah, this is, I like how this is opening up. I think this 15-minute might finish really, really bearish. The only thing that's a little bit of concern is how this stochastic is flat. Like this is, let me open this up for y'all. They're not letting it off the ground flat. And last time we had these bounces, this nice retracement and then bounce. Like you got a couple of instances of where when it was down here, and you could see that was that when it got down to this level. That was that spike up here. So I'm very curious on how they're going to do this with this 15-minute. Just adjusting that. Actually, let me adjust this one just in case I'm slightly off. The high of the day here is, oh, I got it perfect. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a stickler on that one, only because I've made mistakes taking trades, and then out of nowhere I did not have the right level, so I try to like pinpoint. All right, while we waiting for this 15-minute to be done, let's go ahead and check out my red list. Let's see what's going on there. See if we can get some setups here. Big winner. Look at this. This is Dell. Dell got a nice little gap up, but they're already giving away all this lunch money at the same time. This one was the one I kind of explained to y'all. I was like, this thing has a tendency on running after dividends. So depending on how it holds this support here, I may consider it. This was a nice little order block hold here. So I'm very curious on how Dell does at this level. Did they just cover their shorts, or is this thing gonna go ahead and continue to the upside? Let's see. Another one I like is UNH. UNH is trying to build its base again. I do think that it can give us some bullish sentiment. I really think that this gap down was just profit taking, and they're going to fill this right back up. But we'll see what happens there. This is what it looks like on the weekly. Nice little pullback, but it didn't really go anywhere. So we'll see if this thing can curl right back up and then give us a couple more weeks of green candles. We'll see how that goes. Let's see, who's terrible? We had a bad day today. AMAT, that's my position in AMAT. This one is having a bad day, and I think it's all driven because AMD kind of dropped the ball. Perspective is so key on that one, right? Dropped the ball and I pulled it up. It didn't even lose 1% on EPS, but anyways, they took their profits anyhow. All right, this one on the weekly, it looks like a double doji. We'll see what happens in the next couple of days. I did buy time on my position, so I am okay with what's happening now. All right, let's see Costco. Now Costco, I thought it was going to get to $1,000. I really did. So it looks like we hit the brakes around that 923, 924. Trying to build a base here. If it's going to build that base, can't give up that fair value gap here. Yeah. Next buy opportunity, 840, 870. Let's call it 870. That's probably going to be your bounce area. No, that's not what I tried to do. Come on. There we go. 870 flat. Somewhere around there. That's what I'm looking at. All right, let's go back over to NQ. See how the party's going over there. Oh, the buyers can't hold up that order block. We're in the backside of that downward trend line that I was kind of looking at. I think this was built on the daily. It's slightly off though. Let me fix that. Come on. Probably that's why it was so bad. I was trying to change the angle of this, but I made it so long. Is it a weekly one? I drew that line so far. Alright, boom. Boom. Bring this up a little bit more again. Let's see. Kind of like this area here. Boom. And let's go to the 15-minute. Let's see what I got. Yeah, they tried to bounce in that area. Now we're going for that fair value gap down there. This is a 2-hour fair value gap. Are they filling with enough momentum to get down there? Looks like it. That's what it looks like so far. We're under that 600 level. A very, very, very key level there that they're giving up here. Yep, you see, that's what I was about to say. This thing could just continue to that downside. So we're going to give ourselves a very weird opening range breakout. They're probably doing a breakout as far as the market from a different time frame. Maybe that's the reason why it's dropping so hard so fast. But we're gonna stick with the rules, right? Trade your plan, not your money. If you have a way of you getting into here, by all means, I don't want to deviate your plans, but I am looking at this as hands off for now until this thing decides where it's gonna stop. All right, we're almost to that level. That 564 was a key level yesterday. Very, very strong level, and was looking for something a little bit more impactful on that one. Now that is jerkish. Looks like a lot of things in the market is pulling back. Mm-hmm. All right, that's that center pivot of the fair value gap. What does it do with it? All right, let me go ahead and grab this and go ahead and reestablish our low. Our low is 20552. Oh, that is a far fetch off of that 2600. Bears got control right now. Be careful, folks. All right, we got 3 minutes into this market. This candle closes, not to the market closes, to this candle closes. They try to take one more stab to get the rest of this fair value gap. You see that? Look at that. Now that was the whole thing with this daily order block, right? I was looking for it to do it anywhere around here, roughly around that 50% mark. So we broke above here. You kind of call it a bear trap being sprung right now, if you think about it, right? Where it just looks more bullish throughout here. We did gap up at the open yesterday, and yeah, they just pretty much are liquidating all of that movement now. Let's see how far they go. Because this is a lot of movement here. They might come back and refill this. All right, 60 seconds left. Let's take a peek at my green list while we wait. Meta looks like this. Nice little breakdown here. That's probably what's driving this. But it broke out of its downtrend here. Could this be a retest for them to take off again? This one has earnings today too. Another one. This is CVX. CVX has earnings on Friday. I think I like CVX for what it's doing right now. So you got yourself a nice little uptrend right here, and then this downtrend barely went anywhere. They wedged it, and now it's building a new level of support off of this deviation of this downtrend. And for giggles, and this downtrend. So now it's starting to break out. If this holds, we could get ourselves a nice little micro trend, assuming today ends like this, like that. All right, so one of my alerts just came in. This is probably a good time for a retracement. What I like to see on this is that the 5 minute starts to push up and start to trend up in itself. So I'm gonna see what the first 5 minute does. But meanwhile, we're gonna go ahead and lock in our low. Our low is 20545. So if there is going to be a sense of a reversal, it probably will be coming shortly if this thing does not blow below the low. This one expires tomorrow. This one expires tomorrow too? Okay. All right. Very uncomfortable. I hate seeing red, but I'd rather just watch. Alright, could this be the reversal? We're going to wait for the 5 minute candle to close so we don't wake up to any surprises when it's all said and done. We could get a nice little reversal here. That was a massive move to the downside. Assuming profit taking is being done right now. Now, an aggressive point would have been entered. Yeah, this was much more aggressive. I was gonna wait for just for y'all is wait for this pullback to happen. I just got my second alert. Looks like they liquidated what bears that they thought on the retracement. So this might be the end of it and then continue back down to the downside. So we'll see what happens. An aggressive entry, which I was explaining, would have been here, but then you would have to have a stop loss of about 54 ticks. That's a little uncomfortable. So I was being modest and considerate of being a little bit conservative for y'all. Roughly went off around here, so I think it would give a nice little 72 ticks, so a little over 1.5 ratio, and that's what I was looking for. And that was a solid, if it was an aggressive move for a reversal. It's just very deep stop loss to get that. May still consider getting this on a breakout if this thing can show me some bullish tendencies. So far, a couple of my time frames is already showing some of it, but this 5 minute is still. Let me show you this. That is bearish, very bearish. And even if we push up, they may put on bearish divergence where it just does one more spike up for a manipulation sweep, and then you'll be the one holding the bag. But what I like about it is that we're in the 2-hour fair value gap, and we didn't fill all of it. So I want to play this up if this 5 minute does hold. Just wish it would give me a nice little opportunity before it starts really trying to take off. Like, relax, relax. Got a minute and 45 seconds on this candle, and we'll see what happens. I'll probably do a small position since it ran away so much. Probably gonna be a scalping trade. Yeah, that's that first test. Let's get a nice little retracement back down, because they're trying to get out of the fair value gap. Incidentally, they might be making a very strong 5 minute fair value gap by doing so. I don't see any point of interest. I feel like the momentum's on the bear side. Nice curl over, nice reset. I don't want to get in before the 5 minute closes. I want to see if it finishes like a strong green candle. You know, something that like a really good wide body. But you can see the selling pressure is already affecting it. We are inside of a daily order block. All right, we got ourselves about 19 seconds. Does it hold its water, or does it let the bottom out and it starts to give us that open range breakout to the south side? If that's the case, I probably would have to close some of my bullish stuff that I carried overnight. Other than AMAT, I got more than enough time on that one. Okay, that is our first 5 minute. Gonna just take it easy here. I think I'm gonna give one more push. Oh, actually it's starting to. Gonna operate with like about I might go a little wider. I'd like to do 10 tick stop losses. I think I'm gonna go 15 on this one, just because the volume, the range is so wide. All right, I'm at 27 ticks. Let's see if we can get the rest of this fair value gap. Pull back, boom. See if we can get a little bit more of a bounce. Get the rest of it, get into this area. That's what I'm looking for. There we go. Come on, one more push. Can you do it? I'm sitting at 30 ticks. I did take a stab on it. I averaged in a little bit. I think I'm gonna stop it at 15 ticks positive if it goes against me. All right, let's see if we can break this trend line. Come on, baby. You got it. You got it. Let's get the rest of the fair value gap. I ain't scared of no bears. Let's go. Come on, push. There we go. There we go. There we go. Come on. There we go. 63 ticks. I'm at my max position, so I'm not going to add anymore. I'm close to my take profit. That was a nice pullback. I'm sitting on 39. Took majority off the table. That was about a $400 move. I'm putting myself on punishment on my micros for a little bit. Come on, don't you dare. It got to my break even. Take the one runner off. All right. That was a good trade. So this is all built off of market dominance. 45-minute is my favorite time frame. Let me just give a nice little breakdown. Look at this candle. Let me just hide all my drawings. Look at this candle. This candle is egregious, to say the least, right? And this tends to happen every so often. Psychologically speaking, if you were up here and you was waiting for a breakout and you still in the trade and it gets to this level, you're gonna start thinking about taking some of your position off the table. That's what I like to play. I'm a reversal trader naturally. So you could kind of see I was looking for the 5-minute to kind of give me a nice little support. The safer entry is here. So I got a good chunk of this whole entire candle, about 20 points, 24 now, right? But it was the first 5 minutes after making such a massive move. And what do retail traders do? Oh, look at that candle. It's so big. It's all red. There's no way it turns back around. Hey, I'm over here. I will take that reversal. All right, so that's kind of how this works. So I got a nice little solid trade on it. Looks like it's about to give another instance of this upside. Maybe even come into here. This is an order block that we're sitting right here. But again, we're in a daily order block, and this thing formed another bearish order block here. So this could give a nice little rejection somewhere here between this price action here, this extension here, and then you got this fair value gap that's in between here. So this could give you a lot of trouble if you're trying to play it from this position and not entering where I entered. All right, so just be very cognizant of where you are, and that should help. All right, so let's go ahead and bring the drawings back. For my opening range breakout, yes, this did not really work out too well, right? We're still inside of it. Why? Because what did I say? You want the first 5 minutes to break below, right? So since we don't have a 5-minute break below, we have no business taking any shorts. If anything, if you're a range trader, you could try to play inside of the range, but hey, to each its own. That's it. Let's go ahead and look at some other stuff on my list. Marriott. I haven't looked at Marriott in a while. Still looks bullish. Still looks bullish. Had a trend line here a while back when I was watching it. Then they kind of broke this down. I kind of stopped watching it. But you can kind of see this is the new pivot. And then here, I really got to update that list. This is not 2 weeks ago. I just haven't done my videos in a while. Now that I'm in my season again. So boom, that is our high right here. So yeah, this is a very, very interesting order block. I kind of did that a little wide than I want, but I'll fix that. Very interesting order block from here to roughly, I really want to say here, but let's just keep it shallow. Let's talk about here, right? Nice little stair step that you make it right here. Continue to this side. If this thing makes a higher high, that means this is their new pivot, and this could be your extensions that happens. Let's look at CCJ. CCJ had a nice little move, came back. Oh, that looks nice. Depending if you're ballsy right now, we are in a bullish state. If this stochastic does flip and continue to the upside, you could get yourself a nice little move to that upside right here. So just keep an eye on CCJ because this could be your reversal point. Do I have it on my red list? Yep. AMD, you already know this is what happened. 150. Let's see if we got to that 150 level. 149.10, and then they bounced it. Very close. Very close. So this could be a psychological level bounce. If it gets back into this fair value gap, maybe it could go ahead and kind of get back in here. We'll see. Be patient. Be very patient. All right. I should have added that to my compound. Look at what's going on over here. Look what's going on in this party. Here's our 15-minute. We was looking for that reversal. Look at that candle. Disrespectful. All y'all retail traders, listen. Let me turn the camera on. Look, I'm a retail trader just as much as you are. I am not moving like hundreds of millions of dollars and whatever the case may be. But I will say this. Just because you see a red candle this big does not mean that it's a good time for you to go ahead and short. I explained that this thing was pinned to the bottom here, so there was a good chance that this could reverse. It followed a lot of my thesis with about 7 of my key indicators that I'm looking for it to reverse, and it gave that bounce. And if you did take that bounce with me, and maybe you held your water a little bit better than I did, that's fine, but you probably sitting really pretty. This was a 60. I only took 20 points, and that gave me $400. Imagine if you actually took this, that probably been like, I don't know, $1,000 just on that move alone. So this, just understand, retail traders, stop it. Stop the foolishness. Big candles does not mean that the next one's going to continue. It doesn't always mean that. Make sure you read your charts properly. All right, we're probably going to get the rest of this 15-minute fair value gap and really put some disrespect on everything here. Here's that 5-minute block that I was just telling you about. 5-minute fair value gap is right around this level, which was our full measured move of the M, right? So this could be an area that they're very interested on trying to liquidate all the way through and maybe use this as a resistance level to go back down. So if you're on the bullish side, be cognizant of that too. All right. Couple levels that probably give you good entry for that downside if you're still bearish. But overall, this 5-minute like it wants to take off and get through this whole entire stochastic and get into that upper register. So we'll see what the momentum does. Let's go to the 15-minute. Party just started, but it's still in the bearish state, so it's probably not going to pan out too well. And that 1 hour is pointing straight down. This could be just a nice little retest, so that way they could go ahead and get that 1 hour right. But that much of a bounce, I don't know. 10 o'clock might be a little bullish. All right, let me go fix my other chart. I got something I gotta do over here. Let's see. Where are all my lines? Oh yeah, we went deep. Oh, deep. Extremely deep down there. So remember I said there was going to be 10 o'clock news, new home sales. Hold on. Let me just go back to here and see. Hold on. Gotta clear this email real quick. Oh, no, it won't be there. Alright, let's go here. And my FX book. Let me just do a new one. I cannot find the one I had before, but that's okay. Bonds is making a move. You know what? I'm gonna explain that in a little bit because there's something I've been working on and we're gonna go ahead and see how that's panning out. Add to my statistics. All right, pending home sales. It's still not putting up the data. So okay, there we go. It is, one of them is bullish for the dollar. I'll wait for the other one. Meanwhile, let me go ahead and pull up this bond alert that just popped up. Nope, not you. So what I like to anticipate is I try to or almost like anticipate when the market is looking for liquidity. And I think they found a lot of sell side liquidity on the bonds itself. I do think that there's going to be some type of retracement that's going to be needed. It's in the bullish state. Bullish state on the 15-minute too. I would love. I did 1 hour. Okay, let's see. See if this 3-minute or 1 minute could get a little bit of a reset. So if you are a bonds player, and there's a very few that I know actually plays bonds, I've been toying with this. Let me know how it works out. Probably come back over here to this 118.17, get a nice little curl up on the 1 minute because we are still kind of bullish here. Now it is a little dangerous because you could kind of see this 1 minute has been put in nothing but bearish divergences this whole entire time, right? And I get it. I do bonds, Jeff. I don't turn around and look at the 1 minute. I understand. I'm just telling you what that means. It could be a little bit of a pullback. I'm looking at the 50 EMA here as a possible point. If you're going to go to a 3 minute, you can kind of see struggling to really take off here. But whatever is happening with the 1 minute could be short term, short lived. And then we get ourselves a nice little reversal. If this 3 minute can get back to this lower register while it hits this support, that probably would be really, really fun to take this back to the upside, because the 5 minute looks like this, especially with the way the MACD is doing. So this could be just retracement after a major move to the upside. It's just way too vertical, and this could be the beginning of a pullback. And then now we go over to the 15 minute, and you can kind of see here it is in a bullish state. The 5 minute though is coming from a bearish state into a bullish state. This is the first time, so a nice little curl up. But the 15 minute is the one I think is really the true party, and they probably are aiming to get back to here, which will bring you to 119, maybe even get it a little above 119. You can see the nice little sell-off here and a nice little order block here. So this is for my bonds players. I'm still toying with it, just paper trading it, playing around with it. But because I'm teaching y'all right now, I cannot take that trade. We're gonna leave that alone. And back to NQ. Sorry for the segue. Anyways, let's go ahead and see. Is our 15 minute above the bullish side so we can get something for our opening range breakout? No, I don't see it. I don't see it. And plus we got news that came in bullish for the dollar. Let's go see what's going on with the dollar. It's bullish for the dollar, but the dollar's still falling. Look at that. Look at that. Where do you want to go, dollar? I do have 104 as one of your levels. I do have 103.795 as one of your levels. $200 EMA on the 1 hour sits right there, so that could be tough. These wicks and these dojis here lets us know that there's nice selling resistance at this level. Election cycle, I want to see this. I want to see what it does at 103.95, 103.795. All right, let's get back over to NQ. What's going on over there? Not 15 hours, 15 minutes. Oh, still pushing, still trucking along. Trying to grab all that sell side liquidity. So we finished that fair value gap. Come back over to the 5 minute. We got through this bearish fair value gap as well. There is another right here. This one is already done, but this one right here, they're probably coming for. So if we can get ourselves a nice 5 minute close, it would be good timing. Do it in 5 seconds. Can you do it? Boom, 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 wow. So we got ourselves bullish fair value gap, bullish fair value gap, bullish fair value gap, and this one's going to be tested. Let's see how much of it that they give here. I like to throw fibs on this sometimes. See how much they're going to give. Change the template. No, not that one. What is it? I know I got an indicator that does it too. I get it. It's all right, but I like to look at things a certain way, and it takes a while for the indicator to do it. That's a 50% retracement off of a bigger move all the way from here, and this gonna be the rejection, blah blah, you know, all that. So I'm looking at this particular candle like, yep, if they're gonna give that fair value gap, nice little 50% retracement, pull it all the way back up, take over, get all of that sell side liquidity, boom, breaks out. Oh, not enough. Not enough. There was some sellers sitting there. If we could get a nice little break up here, get a close up here. Come on, baby. I apologize. For my newer traders, I know I just did some things. You're like, wait, what did you just do? When my one-on-ones open up again, we'll deal with that. I apologize, but yeah, we tend to kind of have like these pullbacks here and there. I think fair value gaps are built on those Fibonacci pullbacks. That's how I think. I might be completely wrong, but I think this is going to go ahead and hold this fair value gap on the bullish side, and then we're probably going to break above this top side here. All those that's flushing A and D is probably what's driving this. Again, like I said, that 150 level was a tough one, and you could see around 149. This is your bounce liquidated. They try to get the rest of this fair value gap off of the open, and if they can get that, they're going to try to get that fair value gap over here at there, but they got a lot of junk to get through before that happens, so keep that in mind. Back to NQ. Come on, 5 minutes, give us a close above. Now that would have been a very good scalp if you were doing some shorter time. Nice little 53 ticks, probably 63, somewhere around there, depending on your risk tolerance. It gave a range of about 76, so I like to say 25% is what you're going to gather out of that. So 2 times 7, so that's 150. So 15 to 30 ticks, depending on if you could get it from the sharpest point of where they rejected to the highest point, and depending on stop losses. Come on, break up off the top. I'm trying to see if we can get that. Because if we can get that, then we're going to get a lot of sell side liquidity. And our retracement idea was just to get to the fair value gap of the 2 hour. And then the 2 hour will look like this. Let me get rid of this drawing. As in, this is your demand zone or order block or whatever the case may be with this bounce, and then take off all of this sell side liquidity that came in. That's what I'm curious about. But we're only 9 minutes in. It's not like it's failing, but I do think that our opening range breakout will be a catalyst to help get that job done. So nice little 5 minute close above. We got 1 minute left until this 5 minute candle closes. Like I said, if you haven't been here before, I like to kind of end this at 10:15. You know, we're more than just traders, so I don't want to go ahead and bombard all of your time with a trading floor. If it breaks out of any range, maybe put an alert at these levels. The top side is 20669.25, and then the bottom side is 205.45, and you catch one of those breakouts. Cool. It might happen now. Oh, like I said, it might happen now. All right, let me go and get myself ready just in case I do decide to take this trade. Oh, I forgot to mark you off, didn't I? Yeah, I should have marked this off. A 5 minute, I could have oh no, actually, oh no. Oh yeah, I could have saw the continuation, caught this last 5 minute, yeah, actually. It did not close above it. I don't like it. I'm very specific to the rules, right? I feel like they're gonna go ahead and, like, there's some sellers here, they don't want it to get up there, so they're not gonna let that 5 minute close above it. So put that together with the fact that we are in the bearish side of the 5 minute, I don't like the trade no more. I think this thing can go ahead and drop on us like something vicious because they didn't let it close above that 20669. I know, kind of rigid, right? But it's my rules. It's my rules. If I was to take a stab, it probably would be now and see if I can get up there. But it'll be really like a 5 tick stop loss, 10 tick stop loss, just to see if the market's going to hold it. Now, we are at the area, I just thought about it. We are at the area of the 50% mark of that M pattern that we played to the downside. So there probably was some lingering bear orders that was sitting there, and that's why this happened. It's just tough to take. It is tough to take. Let me see. I almost want a better retracement and then consider it, knowing that we kind of penetrated it. it's high risk and it is high reward, because then that means we're probably going to go to the 50, hold at it above the 50, and then start to really push to 200. It is starting to flatten it out a little bit, but mm-mm, it can get very choppy and cost you a lot of money. I don't like it. That's why I like, if it closed above that 69, I'll take the chance, because I'm like, okay, anything below that 60, look at it, look at you, so this, and and the worst part about it, they gave it. Let me see, just a tiny higher high. We went 25%, 25 cent more. Let's see, our high was 75. This one, no, not even flat, right here between these two. Oh, and then they catch all that buy side liquidity right now. So this could be all of these fair value gaps getting caught right now. We got like 3 minutes until the market. I'm sorry, until my floor closes. Not into the market. I don't know what is with me today. I am very far from being accurate today. Maybe it's because the Heat's playing New York, and I'm trying to get all my Heat juju to go take out the New York Knicks. I want them to, knock them out the park. If you don't know the rivalry, I'll tell you. Look up Heat versus Knicks. It's such a big rivalry. We wanted to see nothing but destruction with that team. All right, they're starting to recover it a little bit. Made higher lows on this 5 minute. Still don't like it. Still don't like it. Kinda could be. That probably was the retracement, but to be super safe, I want one more retracement if I'm gonna scalp this up to the upside. And this retracement better not be disrespectful. It should be something that doesn't show that the Bears have any control and that the Bulls are in play here. And it's starting to lose that luster right now. I was looking at the open of that previous candle as that point, and they went lower than that. So I think the Bears are still putting some pressure on the Bulls. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cute, but I'm still not taking it. I think y'all did too much. If it had stopped off of that retracement that it did roughly around here at 260, it's 2663, I probably would have considered something to the upside, because we're at this upper register and I'm looking for bullish opening range breakout. But now, don't like it no more. Even if it closed above it, I still don't like it. It's each time the Bears are making it look like that. You see how that's happening? They're taking out whatever Bulls stop losses are there, or their initiation of what they're thinking as far as their thesis. That's how I kind of see it. I won't be surprised if this thing wicks a lower low before I try to push back up to bait more Bulls. Mm-hmm. Almost. You're really accumulating here. Kind of made a higher low here. They didn't wick too low here. So could the Bulls still be here? Maybe. Yep. Look at that push. Like I don't care for these pushes or anything like that. I want to see that there's control, because I'm not a market maker. I'm not a market mover. I want them to just show that they have control. That way I can safely take a position. So I'm gonna look for another pullback somewhere around here again. And I know hindsight is 2020. Be like, well, Jeff, that was a good entry right there. Look at how much got right here. Yeah, that's cute, but there was nothing that told me that they would not attempt to go lower and lower. Especially that we're down here, starting to really grow some strength, but and it could be short-term scalpers, and they're the ones that just grab some of that liquidity, or it could be the brokers that has an order here, so they pushed it down, allow for buyers to come in. You know, there's stories of holding orders. That could be a case right there, and they just filled somebody out of JP or Morgan Stanley's orders up here. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. So you gotta have your confirmations. You gotta be in the right state of the market. All that liquidity. All right, so let's see. Let's see if all the sell side is not strong enough to get us down to this lower low. If not, then we probably could get some of that sell side liquidity play back up to that upside. It's tempting. See if we can recapture all that pressure that they just put in. I'm gonna go super light just to see if I'm right. Let's take this shot here. I'm gonna risk about 30 bucks is what I probably risk. So about 30 ticks. I'm on MNQ, see if this is gonna hold. It needs to close above this 69 in a minute and 43 seconds. And my goal is to hold this until a minute and 43 seconds or negative 30 ticks. That would risk about $30. It's doing that dance. Doing that dance. Back and forth. Um, I really didn't see too much option position here for me to kind of give y'all some levels for. Still got some of my buy stuff that I have, but it's it was hard to try to play this in from a QQQ standpoint. Yeah, they're really trying to hold this up. Come on, get above. Use the 45 seconds to get above the 69. Get above it. There we go. Come on, hold now. Hold. Oh, that level is tough. Look like they probably lowered their entries for the short side. Oh, grabbing liquidity. Grabbing liquid. If this take out this wick, it might look good. Oh, bang. Boom. That just happened. I would add to my position, but we're sitting right here at this order block. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to probably wait for a retracement on that. 50 EMA rejection. Are we going to do that? Are we going to do that dance? I'm going to risk. I got like about 60 ticks that popped up. So I'm going to risk until it gets to about 20 ticks. So at 60 bucks, I'm going to risk 40. Because I think this is going to make a bigger move. Because if this is our opening range breakout, our 5-minute close, I'm looking for another retreat. Ooh, they came in hard. Let me go ahead and take that. I only got 10 bucks on that. Now, I was looking to see if this thing can hold above there. But if they're going to make such a violent move to that, I'd rather sit out. Ah, that was jerk. And that's what happened when you play inside of a daily order block. Look at that chop. But anyways, I wanted to kind of point that out. I was looking for another retracement. I was going to buy more, but I was looking for a healthy support. But the range is just way too wide that, you know, if you get it wrong, this thing could probably cost you a lot more money. And since I'm green, there's no reason for me to just give so much weight. Especially they slammed the hit to the downside so hard. Like you see what's going on now. Now they're trying to give back the top of the opening range breakout. Now, if this holds the way I think it should hold, It might continue, might build a base right on top of here. That would be a choice situation, but that 60 ticks that 60 ticks came and gone really really fast. But that said, let me go ahead and let y'all go. Y'all have a great day. Enjoy the rest of the day. I will see y'all tomorrow at 9:15 again. I might pop on a little early again. We'll see. But anyways, see you at 9:15. Y'all have a great day. Bye bye.